Success and equity. You'll find them at BC. Success is what you want. Equity is when we give you the tools and help to get that success. It doesn't matter who you were before. We're here to level the playing field and create a fair world where you can succeed no matter who you are, what you look like, or where you were before. We'll tell you how on BCTV.
And now your host, Francis Mayer.
Welcome to Success and Equity on BCTV. I'm your host, Francis Mayer. And Success and Equity is a show that we hope reminds people that at Bakersfield College, anything is possible. You can start the road to whatever your dream is right here at BC. You can do it affordably. You can do it with help. You can do it with support. And you can do it with people pushing you towards access. There are so many programs on campus geared towards getting you on track to change your life, regardless of how humble your beginning circumstances might be. We made a video recently for a Success and Equity group, and the video was about what it's like to wake up when you're going to a job you love and getting paid a fair wage. And we did two videos side by side. One was of a girl on a set that was kind of dingy, kind of like the apartment that I lived in when I was going to BC. And then the second video shows a grown-up bedroom where you actually have items that match and, a window that looks out onto something besides a wall. And it was just cool. And I do believe that this is where those dreams begin. And it's certainly education, I would think, is where your dream began. What's your name?
I'm Kimberly Chen.
And what do you do at the college?
Yes, I work in the Performing Arts Department and theater.
And what do you teach?
I teach beginning acting classes, film classes, theater history classes, and I direct main stage shows.
That's your full-time job. Like with benefits. Like this is your grown-up gig.
It's a dream job.
It really is. That's what it sounds like. I mean, there are a lot of people, I think, that would say that they fantasized about becoming an actor or working in entertainment, and it's a blast. But there are many different levels to that, and there are many different ways to get in, and you found a way to be a professional performer in that you're teaching other people and directing feature shows. But you didn't come to us from some faraway place. You didn't come to us from the big city.
No, not from New York or LA. No.
Any of the centers of acting. Where did you come from?
From Delano, California.
Wow, there you go.
Absolutely.
Not like the out-of-towners say Delano. You say Delano.
Yeah.
And did you come from an acting family? I know that there's a lot of that's passed down. You did not.
Not at all. No, I think being the baby of the family maybe added to this theatricality. But no, my parents did not have any kind of artistic aspirations whatsoever.
Wow, what did your parents do?
My father was a butcher. And my mother was a homemaker that once my father passed, she had to go out and clean hotel rooms and work at Kmart.
Oh, wow.
And a pizza parlor.
How many siblings did you have?
5 total.
Wow. No, that's a tough draw. And you were not older when your father passed away.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so you understand the pressures. We got a lot of students at BC who come from situations where the parents are both making enough money, gosh darn it, just to pay the bills. And that's the condition for a lot of people in the United States now, by the way. But if you're in that situation, one way to kick yourself out of it is through education.
Absolutely.
Did you know when you were young that you wanted to go to college?
I don't think as a child I didn't think about it, but I really loved school.
Okay.
I loved it mainly because I knew that I was being taught and I loved to learn, but also to get that free lunch meal and breakfast.
So that was a big deal for you.
That was huge for me because I loved the stability and, to be able to have a full meal in front of you, and you got to eat twice there, breakfast and lunch. And then the education, all that learning was just a huge bonus, right?
For sure.
But I love school, and I would never miss a day.
Well, when you think of the child who's getting a free lunch, or when people talk about all these free rides we give in the United States, it's upsetting to me because you're a product of that.
Yes.
You were nourished and fed through a product for folks who, were of low income, I imagine.
Yes, and in fact, my mother, she had quite a bit of pride, and she did not want to take any of the assistance that was offered at the time. But I do remember one time she gave in, and we went and we got that block of cheese, right? We did.
The government cheese.
The government cheese.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
Wow. No, it is difficult, but the thing to remember, and definitely your living embodiment of that, is that it was a step up to a better future, and you ended up going to college,
Yes.
and you were in a position to do that. What was the first school that you attended?
I went to Fresno State.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And did you get good grades in high school?
Yes, I did. And I know I probably could have done better, but I was involved in so many extracurricular activities.
Nice.
Yes.
What are extracurricular activities were you involved in?
Yes, I was a cheerleader, song leader.
Oh, wow.
all 4 years. I
Were
know
you
can't
really?
you can't tell now,
No,
but
you're
yeah.
wearing the total black theatrical
Oh, am
getup
I?
right now. You're like, I'm a backstager. But
Yeah,
so
I
it's funny
should be
to imagine.
asleep right now. You know that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So do you feel like being involved in school, despite the fact that you didn't have a ton of extra income in your household, did that help you in
Oh,
school?
it did. Being involved in activities and really knowing your teachers and having bonds with them, it meant so much. Because, Mr. Gary Gerard, brilliant man, and I saw him as a second father or a surrogate father. And without him in my life, I don't think I would have achieved as much as I have today.
Well, I've had younger friends ask me why they should get involved, or I don't want to be a jock or whatever, and I wish they would just stop with that nonsense. It's not about labels or belonging to something. Actually, that's exactly what it's about. It is about belonging to something, because you will form relationships that you can't even imagine with teammates, with castmates, with, like you said, with a mentor, and all that happens by getting involved. You're exposing yourself to the potential for good things to happen.
Absolutely.
I know that the fear is that the bad things will happen. Maybe I'll fail if I try, but you might just succeed, right?
Exactly.
And you didn't feel necessarily blessed for success getting involved in performing arts.
No, because I actually, as a child, I was extremely shy, painfully shy. I would not look people in the eyes. I had to go in with my mother or a sibling into stores to purchase candy, and I couldn't look at the clerk. I would have to point to what I wanted and then give whoever I was with the money so that they would give it to the cashier. And that's that's how that went down. And so when I went to kindergarten, I had to go to speech therapy because I wasn't speaking enough, and so many words I could not pronounce. And and then here I am teaching acting and having large capacity classes of 170 students.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I think that teaching a group of people is one of the toughest acting gigs you can do. I mean, you can't show weakness. You need to be authoritative. You need to hold the room, right?
Yes,
Or the
yes.
consequences are disastrous.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's much worse than losing an audience when you're trying to do stand-up comedy. I would have to imagine losing an audience when you're teaching is pretty close.
It's tough. If you see them sleeping or they leave early.
You're like, it's getting to the good parts. That's so tough. So how long did your shyness last? Did this go into middle school? And
Well, I'm still shy. I was
you've
telling.
been making great eye contact with me the whole time, so I'll just throw that out there.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Training.
Yes.
But yeah, I was saying that I would rather go to the dentist than to be here. But you're making it pleasant, so thank you.
Well, it was teachers who did that for me. I never thought that I could have an adult living as a host. It's funny to think that you do that, but it does come with training and practice. And I remember making videos like the one that we're making now as far back as 5th grade. So when video camera technology was so new and exciting, we've come a long way since then. But so it's been a process for you shedding the shyness.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's
yeah.
obviously it's something you still deal with.
I do. I tell my students you have to chip away at it and do whatever you can to break that down into a pebble. And so mine is a pebble size I carry in my pocket, and I would like it to turn to dust soon and just be gone.
But it's still there, and yes, even just one pebble in the sheets would be enough to keep you from getting a good night's sleep. So that's an apt metaphor. Speaking of that anxiety, one of the most anxious experiences that I can think of is auditioning, and that's something now that you watch people go through.
Yes, and so I try to make it as painless as possible. I try to make it a one-on-one as opposed to, oh, you're in the indoor theater, full house of people waiting to watch or to go and audition. I have it as a one-on-one currently.
Because it is an absolute process of judgment. We're going to take a break. I'm getting a message from my director that we need to take a break, and you got to listen to the director, right?
Yes, absolutely.
We're gonna. Can you stick around for a few more minutes?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Absolutely wonderful. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more theater and performing arts and tell you how you can get involved at Bakersfield College. Don't go anywhere. There's more Success and Equity coming up next.